gather in a stitch. Laugh, sip wine, and relax. Tuesday night, you already know what time it is. Shirley's in the house. Threads ready, wine ready. Let's go. Wind down Tuesday, come stitch with me. Good vibes, good friends, and creativity. Wind down Tuesday, we laugh, we learn. Got the machines humming while the threads turn. Ooh, yeah. Shirley's Threadwork in the atmosphere. Shirley's Threadwork in the atmosphere. Got the hoops lined up, fabric on the table, thread shining bright, yo, we ready and able. Quilters in the chat, embroiderers too. Everybody bringing their creative moves. Somebody stitching towels, somebody making bags, somebody buying fabric they already had. We don't judge here, we just create. Pour another glass, don't be late. Wheels dancing, machines singing. Every Tuesday night, you know we bringing love, style, soul, and thread. Wind down Tuesday, come stitch with me. Wind down Tuesday. Good vibes, good friends, and creativity. Wind down Tuesday, we laugh, we learn. Got the machines humming while the threads turn. Ooh, yeah. One stitch at a time, one laugh at a time. Building something beautiful, one night at a time. Wind down. Wind down Tuesday. Wind down Tuesday. Come vibe with me. Threads, quilts, hoops, and creativity.
Well, hello, this is Wind Down Tuesday, Shirley's Wind Down Tuesday. I am Shirley with Shirley's Threadwork. Thank you for stopping by. I do appreciate it. And hello to everybody. Thank you for stopping by here. I got people in here in the chat waiting. I got people out back, I'm sure, watching from their homes, their phones, their computers, their TV, everywhere. So I want to give a shout out to everybody that is watching from YouTube land, Facebook land, and everybody that will be watching the replay. Thank you so much for your support. I do appreciate it, and thank you again. This is a place where we talk honestly about crafting, what helps us, what inspires us, what costs too much, what takes up too much room, and what we thought that what we would do if we didn't have all of these things. So that's what we do when we come in to Wind Down Tuesday to talk to Shirley and the group. Who do I have in here tonight so far? Hello, Sharon. How are you? You were number one coming in here. Hey, thank you. Rebecca McGinnis. Cindy, how are you? Glad it's time for Wind Down Tuesday. I am too. Robin, Wind Down Tuesday from Maryland. And we got Jenny from Texas in here, Jenny Owens. Hi, Shirley and everyone. And who else? We have Doris Leonard in here tonight. And anybody else is showing up. I think that, let me see. Oh, yes, we have Sherry. How are you? It's getting closer and closer to that Biloxi, Mississippi time, Sherry. I'm looking forward to it. And Danielle, hey, hi, girl. You're here. You're early. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let me see. Did I get everybody so far? So, how is everybody doing? I know the weather is crazy, crazy, crazy out east, northeast specifically, and also the terrible fires that's going on in the Pacific Northwest out in the state of Washington. My cousin lives out there, but thank goodness she is not near Spokane where the fire is burning right now. I don't know if there's anything that's out closer to her. She's in Vancouver, Washington, right out of Portland. So I'm pretty sure she's okay so far, but My prayers go out to everybody that's out here in these different areas that is experiencing all of these tragic weather related natural disaster type situation that's going on. I tell you, it's really, really bad. It's almost unending. See the news every day. They're talking about fires and floods and devastation everywhere. So, like I said, my prayers go out to everybody that's out there, experience it, and those of you that may have family and friends out in those areas as well. So, we got a few more people that dropped in. Hi, Claudette. How are you? And Creative Notion, how are you? Thank you for stopping in. Do appreciate it. So, tonight we're going to have some fun talking about some things. This topic tonight came from you. This is one of the topics that I asked people to give a suggestion, and I've been writing them down, and this is one of the suggestions that was made. So that's why we're talking about crafting journals tonight. Hi, Marissa. It's been a minute. I don't know if you have my new password to the Social Society crew. And if not, let me know so I can make sure that you can get it. Hi, Marina. How are you as well? So people are constantly coming in, and that is great. I do appreciate that you're coming in. So as I was saying, the topic for tonight came from the audience asking about crafting journals and whether or not they're worth the time, the money, and all of that. And last week we took a close look at crafting subscription boxes and what they promise, what they cost, whether they bring inspiration to us or it's just clutter. And so this week we're turning to something that can help make sense out of all the things that we purchase. Now, I don't know about any of you, but I have to be honest about it. I would say at least a couple of years ago, I uh, decided to do a crafting journal. And I'm not going to tell you any more about that till later on. But I did consider a crafting journal, actually purchased one. So, what I'm going to ask you right now, everybody pay attention. I have one simple question that we're going to be talking about and answering tonight. And that's, can a crafting journal help us create more clearly and intentionally, or can it be one more unfinished project sitting in our craft room? Would a journal add to the chaos, add to the clutter, add to the time for something else, another UFO, or can it be beneficial to us and help us to be a little bit more creative as well as get some inspiration? I haven't heard this in a while, but there was a time when all you could hear was vision boards, vision boards, vision boards. Everybody had a vision board. You couldn't go into Michael's or into Hobby Lobby or any type of crafting store without seeing all of these things to help you formulate your vision board. I don't hear that anymore, but that's kind of similar to doing a crafting journal. At least that's how I looked at it. And some people do diaries. They just journal just for the fun of it, put down their thoughts, their emotions, their deepest secrets, all of those kinds of things. I've never been one of those. I'm not writing down my secrets. They don't stay secrets if you write them down. But anyway, I have dabbled off and on in journaling just a little bit. I never kept it up for some reason. I guess, I don't know, I guess I didn't have the real interest in it. But once I started doing embroidery and stuff like that, I thought it would be something that I would be interested in. So let's move on. Has anybody one question, yes or no question. Has anybody that's out here in the audience, whether you're watching and you're not in the chat or you're in the chat, have you did any crafting journaling? have you purchased or developed a journal for crafting, whether it's a notebook, a planner, something that you created on your own, jotted down a bunch of notes in certain places. Um, I guess I could actually say I have a journal. I don't know where it's on my other card. That's where it is. But I made some little notebooks like this cute little thing here, but I made a big one for the big composition, and it's in another room right now. But anyway, I made one, and I've used it pretty much in the very beginning because when I go and look at it, I have a lot of notes and stuff. I also have some notepads with a lot of notes and things like that. So it looks like maybe I've been doing more journaling than I thought I was. So let me see, Cindy. You say I have positive feelings on a crafting journal. Makes it easy when I remake a project. Great. And Marina says no with crafting journal. Sharon says yes. Hi, Joanne Jordan. You say no. Danielle says yes. Claudette says yes. Jenny Owen says yes. Okay. I'm impressed. I'm impressed. I honestly didn't think I was going to get very many yeses out here. Robin says no. So we have a pretty good mixed audience with those that have and have not decided to do or have dabbled in journaling um, for your crafting. So we're going to talk about it tonight. And hopefully you'll get something out of this. Hopefully you'll make a decision as to whether or not you want to try or you don't want to try it. It's certainly up to you, but it's always good to have information about things like that. So even if you have started and stopped, doesn't mean that you have failed at journaling. It just means that you have decided to go a different route or what have you. But we're going to go ahead and talk about this tonight and get it out in the open and see what we can learn. So the best crafting journal is not the prettiest one. It is the one that you can find, understand, and use when you need to use it, that is going to give you the information or gather or maintain the information that you want. So that is what it's all about. So I'm going to ask you to finish this sentence right quickly. You don't have to write it down, just in your head. If a crafting journal could solve one problem for me, I would want it to help me do blank. If you want to write it down, you can, because that will help just kind of get an idea if you want to put it in the chat. Again, finish the sentence. If a crafting journal could solve one problem for me, I would want it to help me do what? Blank. Just what is it? Um, whether you're talking about remembering, planning, learning, organizing, how much you're spending, whether or not you're finishing things, whether or not you're preserving memories, any of those things. Like um, Cindy said, it helps her keep up with her projects and stuff like that. So that's good. So Marina said, I'll make notes on instructions that come along with projects, but nothing formal. Doesn't have to be formal. That's the whole thing that's really important that we're going to learn tonight. We don't have to have a particular journal that's formal. Like I said, I do have a little um, booklet that I jot stuff down mostly with my content, creators content. I would jot things down, but I also put project information in it and stuff like that. And when I started working doing my Etsy shop, I actually do, now that I think about it, have a notebook that I started to keep all of my projects in it, and of course the threads and stabilizer and all the stuff that I used for each particular project so I can recreate it exactly the way that the sample is. So that's similar to journaling and part of what journals can do for you. So let's see, Eva. Hi, how are you, Eva Marie? Um, You wanted to keep up with projects. That's what you wanted to do. Danielle say craft and journal help me organize my projects. Okay. And Robin says you would like for it to help you keep track of what you need to finish your UFO. All of these are really great answers because those are the things that you can use a craft and journal for. Exactly what you mentioned. So there are 5 myths that we need to get rid of, and one of them kind of was pointed out by Danielle about no, Marina, nothing formal. Doesn't have to be formal. So let me go through the 5 myths so you can think about them, and we're gonna put them down and get them out of our mind. Myth number 1: a real journal must be handwritten. The answer to that is no. A note in your phone, a spreadsheet, a photo album, a voice memo, or a simple document can all be part of a crafting journal. So, no, it doesn't have to be written down. And Danielle said spelling. I took my glasses off. Girl, you know I can read all kinds of letter jumble up there. I knew that you meant project when you put that on there. I learned how to read um, that being a nurse, you learn how to read crazy writing. I put it that way. All that craziness you get from doctors, and I have to do that every day when I go to work. The doctor scribbles some little wiggly lines on something, and I got to get it and figure out what the devil did this man say. So I'm kind of used to figuring out what people are trying to say here. That's kind of funny. Okay. And so, Marina, you saying you nothing formal, but I just told you that that is something that you don't have to do. Let me see if it want somebody else put in there. And hi, Miss Felicia, how are you? Thank you for stopping by. And Jennifer Hancock, how are you? Thank you for stopping by. And Joanne, you said you have a notebook with some project instruction and a list of crafting supplies. That's your journal. And Claudette, I wish it would from help me from not buying duplicates patterns or help avoid ones that I don't like. Yeah, okay. That's a good way of doing that because I tell you um way back when, because I don't buy as many designs from Etsy as I did when I first started embroidering because I didn't know any other place to go in the very beginning. And when I first discovered some African American designs on Etsy, I just went gaga crazy and started downloading a whole bunch of stuff. But Etsy does not keep track of what you purchase like some of these other design shops do. So I definitely bought several duplicates of designs. And I literally started keeping, I'm just journaling all over the place. I started keeping I have a big, thick book of all of the designs and stuff and all of the information and the color chart and all that stuff with all of the designs that I bought off of Etsy at that time because I realized that I was duplicating my purchases, which I didn't need or want to do, and that's just money wasted. And Cindy said, I think I need to add my shopping receipts in my journal, maybe in a new section. That's not a bad idea. Or, um, just make a copy of it and make it as a page and just kind of put it in there instead of the actual receipt itself, in case you want to keep that receipt for your taxes or something like that. Myth number 2: every entry must be pretty. No, useful beats pretty anytime. A crooked note that prevents you from ruining the next shirt is doing its job. If you just scribble something in there that tells you what stabilizer you need to use going forward because you used the wrong one and you got a lot of puckering, that's a note. If you put it in somewhere, or like I said, a voice note. I use memos in my phone a lot for a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff. I use my memo in my phone and I go through it. And my phone will do my memos by date. So I can go in, well, I don't know about date, but by year to have, 2021, 22, 23, blah, blah, blah. So that kind of helps me keep up with a lot of stuff. And you probably could organize it even better than that. But I know I use my memo in my phone a lot. And Cindy said, oh, okay, we got that one. Oh, myth number 3, you must write every day. Absolutely not. This is not another attendance sheet. When you use it when it's going to help you. Even if you have one of these beautiful, pretty, formalized journals that you purchase off out of the, wherever, out of Michael's, out of Hobby Lobby, offline, whatever, you got all the pretty stickers and all that kind of stuff, which I did with my journaling book. I got all of that. I still basket up at the top of the my shelving back there has my journal in there. So I told on myself because if it's up there, I must not be using it. I meant to pull it down. But anyway, and I bought all the stickers and all that kind of stuff, and it didn't do anything for me at the time. Uh, Let me finish that. I'll answer your question, Cindy, in a minute. Myth number 4, you need expensive supplies. No, you do not. Just like I mentioned about the pretty books and the stickers and all that kind of stuff, you don't have to have that. You can begin with a notebook that you already own, a school binder, index cards, or even a digital folder. Any of those things will work. And myth number 5, you must record everything. No, you do not. Trying to record everything is one of the fastest ways to record nothing because it becomes a job. It is no longer helping you. You are helping the journal. The journal is controlling you. If you think that you have to fill every page is in there, answer every question, or do whatever all of those pre-made journals present, then you're adding the stress to what you're trying to alleviate. So no, those are the myths. So be careful with these myths. And I'll go over them again. Myth number 1, a real journal must be handwritten. That's no. Myth number 2, every entry must be pretty. That's no. Myth number 3, you must write every day. Absolutely not. Myth number 4, you need to buy expensive supplies. Not at all. And myth number 5, you have to record everything. No, you do not, because you don't have time for that. And you only record what is going to be helpful to you. Hi, Terry. How are you? Terry Hunt, how are you? Thank you for stopping by. So, Cindy, your question in your big, thick book. How do you have the designs organized? By date, purchase, by designer, or by design theme? None of those. I started off, and I have to admit, I'm very bad at following through on things because they tend to get overwhelming. When I first started embroidering, when I first got my SE 1900 and I turned around and got my PR 1055X that same year that I got my SE 1900. So there were only months in between going from one machine to the other. So I expanded my reach quickly. And with that, I expanded my purchasing of designs and software and you name it, I got it. I was working full time. And I guess I knew that it wasn't going to be that much longer with me working that I would be retiring. So with that in mind, I wanted to get as much of the things I thought I was going to need because I really at that point was gung ho about business and all of that kind of stuff. And so I was just accumulating and working full time. And it just got to the point where I couldn't keep up with it. So no, ma'am, I don't have any of it organized at all. I haven't even looked in that book in a while. But what I did do, I think initially I started off by date because I went into Etsy and I started printing out all of the information that you could just go in there and pull up your stuff and your downloads. And it had all of the stuff that you needed, and I just started printing it out and putting it in there. And I actually had intended for my daughter to help me organize it, but she didn't fall for it, so she didn't. So with that being said, it never got organized, not the way I had intended for it to be in my mind. And I still intend to do that at some point, but probably more on a digital um, form versus on handwritten form. And we can talk about that even tomorrow night if you like, or at another time. Um, but that's the answer to that. Hey, Creative Notion, how you doing? And you say you have a small notebook to write down notes when meeting with a potential customer. I also use my planner to help me with projects that I'm part of. Everything in one place is working for me. Wonderful. That is absolutely wonderful. Very organized, very organized. What is the difference between journaling and documenting? Some people hear journal and think they must write paragraphs about their feelings, about how, what you enjoy and just all of that kind of stuff. And documenting can be, but that's not necessarily true. You don't have to do any of those things. You just write down what you need. Documenting can be one of photographs, measurements, all of those one sentence, such as use a fresh 7511 needle next time versus a 9014 or what have you, or even another um, journal that obviously I keep. The more I think about this, the more journaling I realize I do. I just got them in multiple places, it seems like, because I definitely have a little booklet at my cart underneath my machine that I keep up with my needle changes. Every time I change needles on my machine, I will put down, if I do the whole 10 needles, I'll put down all 10 and what needle, usually there's 7511 ballpoint normally. But of course, there are occasions when I would have a different size needle on a different side. I may have a 9014 on needle 9, or I might have a 65-9 on needle 3, or I may have a metallic needle on needle 4, what have you. I write that down so I'll know what is on my machine. And if I've only used those needles very little, I'll take them off. Now that's the hard part for me, remembering where I put them so I can use them again. I usually try to honestly put it back in the pack because it's not dull. I only used it for one little project. If the project was big, then I don't do that. But if I think the needle is still good, still sharp enough and everything, I'll put it back because I don't want to waste the needle. But I don't want to have all these different sizes on my machine at one time if I don't need them. I like to keep them uniform because I use mostly 7511s for most of what I do, and I only use the specialty needles when they are needed. And I do change my needles often, um, all of them. I try to keep them changed regularly. And I also will switch out and put the appropriate needle in depending upon what it is I am stitching. So I definitely tried my best to do that. So I do write it down on this in this little booklet. One year, Jeanette from Baroka Sewing and Craft sent out a cute little notebook and a pen as a Christmas gift to all of the people that participated in her Christmas in July Epster. And that particular notebook she sent out is the notebook that I use to journal my needle usage. So, that's what I do in that particular place. So I guess I have information in several different places. I'm going to have to figure out if I want to keep that method up or put something in one place. I don't know. Making me think about what I really do. Um, The real purpose of having a journal is to put useful information out of your head into some place where you can recall it, something that you can retrieve in the future when you need it, not to make it complicated or something to make it pretty for somebody else to see. Why? It's for your own information. And therefore, you can create your journal the exact way you want to create the journal. It does not have to be something that is going to make you, just make you pull your hair out. We're not trying to create a museum quality book or anything like that. We're not trying to leave any useful clues for the future. None of that. We're just trying to provide information that is useful to us. So, which one of you guys are naturally writers, list makers, photo takers, voice note persons, or you try to keep it all in your head? Think about that as we go on because it's going to help with the quiz that's coming up. Just think about it. What do you tend to gravitate towards? Are you a writer? Do you make lists? Do you like to just take pictures and just catalog that way? Or do you like to just leave a voice message on your phone or something like that? Or do you trust just keeping all of the information in your head with the hopes that you're going to remember the information when you need to retrieve it or recall it? Think about that. So let's see. We're going to move on. Capturing ideas before they disappear. For me, that is what is very important for journaling, is to be able to capture. So there's 7 jobs that a crafting journal can do. And number 1 is capturing the idea before it disappears, before you forget. And if you are like me, that doesn't take long to happen. Trust and believe me. I can think about something right now, and I promise you, if I turn around and go to my machine and come back, I have forgotten what that idea was. And it will take me a minute to say, what in the world did I think about? And, that can be frustrating sometimes because sometimes I be coming up with some really good ideas and then I can't recreate them. But anyway, capturing ideas before they disappear. Record the project idea, who it may be for, what color you were thinking about. You can do a screenshot of something that, can jog your memory, whatever the next action is, all of those kinds of things. Make your dream quilt, how you want that to look. Choose some fabric colors, figure out where that fabric is in your stash. All of those things are important. So, number 1 would be to capture ideas before they disappear. Number 2, plan a project realistically. Plan a project realistically, which is important because go back to some of the other conversations we've had specifically about UFOs. Sometimes we get overwhelmed because we started a project that was a little bit more complicated than we realized, and we end up abandoning that project because we didn't plan it or think about it before we dove into it. So, plan a project realistically. You can do that with a journal. You can track the size of the project, the material that you already own, so you don't go buy something that you don't need, the supplies that you may still need because you may need some stabilizer, you may need something as simple as a water erasable marker or heat erasable marker. Um, those things, what design you want, do you have the right design already? What the deadline may be, what the budget is. Those are some of the reasons to have a project journal because it gives you a meaningful reason to help you decide what your priorities are. So plan a project realistically is something else that you can do. Thought I saw somebody pop in. Hi, Becky. How are you? Is there anybody else I saw pop in? Or Marina says list makers and definitely paper and pen, not a computer list maker. I'm old school. The teacher in me says when you physically write something down, it helps you to remember. I agree with that. Writing something down for me does help me remember. And Joanne says, I like making lists and taking pictures. Okay. And Eva Marie, yes, I love doing a brain dump in my planner. It helps me clear my mind. That's a good idea. You write it down and you can forget about it. And you hopefully you don't have to think about it anymore because you wrote it down and you know you can go back and get it. Go back and get it. Okay, number 3, record technical settings. Now, this one is really important, especially for embroidery. Record the machine that you use. If you have multiple machines, which a lot of us do, then you need to remember what machine did you use to make what project and why did you use that particular machine over the other? Was there a reason? What hoop size did you use? The design, dimension, what needle, thread, bobbin, stabilizer, very important, topping, fabric, what speed, the placement, all of those things are technical information that's really important to jot down when you're making your projects, especially if it's something that is new that you're not that familiar with, and you 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 want to make sure that you don't forget what you did. I'm so sorry. I got this message and it just kind of threw me off a little bit. So sorry about that. Okay, number 4, diagnose problems and preserve fixes. Write what went wrong without making a confession. Bird nesting, puckering, shifting, broken needle, poor alignment, skip stitches, all of those kinds of things. Write down what went wrong and what did you do to correct it. I know I've seen a lot of people that have complained about bird nest, broken needle, skip stitches, loops. And it seems like it's a repeat question. And maybe they don't remember what they did to fix it. What are the steps that you need to take when you run into a bird nest? What are the steps that you need to be checking to make sure you don't repeat the bird nest? What are the steps for the skip stitches, the loops, the broken needles, all of those kinds of things? Diagnose the problem and then write down the solution to that problem. So if and when that happens again, you know what steps to take to eliminate that because it is a series of steps that I follow when I have a bird nest, how to alleviate that. If I get broken, if my thread starts breaking, I know there are certain things that I want to do to see what's causing the thread break that I'm going to check so I can correct it. And usually that solves the problem. Doesn't mean there's something wrong with my machine. It's just that maybe it's not threaded correctly, maybe the needle is dull, maybe the needle has a burl on it, maybe there's thread and lint and stuff down in the needle plate area, the bobbin. Sometimes you get a bad bobbin, even though you may get the pre-wound bobbins, which I use. I have definitely gotten bad pre-wound bobbins that you just had to pitch, put another one in there. I was like, what the heck was wrong with this bobbin? Brand new bobbin. Pitch it, kept breaking it, took it out, put a new one in, no more breakage. It must have been the bobbin. So, yes. Number 5, track inventory and spending selectively. We all can Do that. A journal can hold a wish list, purchase waiting period, project costs, or a location of specialty supplies. All of those things. Do not try to inventory every spool and scrap unless maintaining that list would genuinely save more time and cost. But what it will do, it will let you know I've already bought this fabric. How many times have you bought the same fabric over and over and over again? At least twice. I know I have bought the same fabric, especially when I was buying a lot of fat quarters for masks and things like that. Or just I have this project in mind and I saw this fabric that I wanted and I went out and bought it and brought it home. Didn't have a particular place to put it, had it in a bag, a basket, a drawer, the same bag I bought, the shopping bag. And then the next time I went to the store, I saw that same fabric, thought about the project, bought the fabric again because I forgot I had already bought the fabric. And you get home, bam, I already bought the fabric, already bought the fabric. You forgot about it. You know, journaling can help that. And as far as the spending, a lot of times we spend money and we're not really being aware or conscious of how much we're spending. I don't know if you're guilty of that. I know I am. I try to count up my expenditure at the cutting table. If I tell you I want 2 yards of this, 2 yards of that, or whatever, whatever, and I know how much it is a yard, I round it up, always round it up, don't round it down. And your $5.99 obviously is gonna be $6. Make sure you know whatever it is you round it up. Then do not forget to add the taxes onto it. Just slap a few bucks on top of that. If you got $30 worth of fabric, you better put at least $5 to $6 worth of taxes, if not more, on there. So when you get up there to the counter, you're not going to be shocked. If you get all this beautiful fabric and you have it cut and the lady gives you the slip and she's already cut it and you look at the slip and you realize, oh, that's $75. I thought I was spending 50. Whoops. Now, do you say, I don't want this fabric, take it back, or do you swallow your pride and go on up there to the counter and pay for it and just wish you had paid more attention to what you were grabbing? Pay attention. Number 6, track progress and unfinished projects. That's our UFO. Track our progress and unfinished project. Now, keep in mind, all of these things are what the journal is useful for, that can do for you. It can list the active projects, what you're working on now, the exact stopping point, so you don't forget where you stopped in case you stop a project and start something else, which a lot of us do. What is needed to do next, so you'll know where you are. Whether or not you want to even finish the project. Maybe this is I don't want to be bothered with this anymore. It's getting on my last nerve. I don't like the way it's turning out. Why keep working on something that you already know is not looking the way that you want it to look? I started on a project. My husband asked me where it was. I told him I didn't like the way it had come out and I had put it up. I didn't get rid of it, but I really need to because I'm not going to finish the project because I don't like the way it came out. So I got to start from ground zero. That's a wash. Didn't tell him that, but that's a wash. I'm not going to finish that particular project. I'm going to finish the concept, but that particular one that I'm working on did not turn out the way I wanted, so that one won't get finished. So don't keep it. Move on. Uh, you know, it's easier to restart on something if you know where to restart on. So give yourself permission to do that. Just put that down in your journal. That's going to help you. Number 7, preserve your creative story. Now, this is like if you give a gift or get a gift, You might want to write that down. If you have a big milestone with a customer's birthday, anniversary, the first time you made something for this customer, that's your customer relationship anniversary. All the nice little things that can help you um, be give a little sweet surprise to a customer if you have a business. That's really important. You'll be surprised how far that goes for a person to be remembered. The first time you attempted to make something, what your favorite project is, the first time you made a project. Like my first quilt, I cannot remember when I made it. I could estimate or guesstimate, but it would have been nice to write that down. What lessons that you learned. All of these things can be done by photo. They don't necessarily have to be something you wrote down, or it could be a voice memo. You can jot it down on something, but that's all part of journaling. And why does this matter? Who is this person to you that gifted you, and what it was? Was it useful? Did they like it? Would you make it again? Would you give it to somebody else? Those things, preserving your creative story. That's when a journal becomes more than organization. It becomes a record of growth and legacy, if that is what you want it to be. Don't feel like you have to do that, though. It just gives you an idea of all the different things that you can do or what a journal can do for you. Because the whole essence of a crafting journal is to make it work for you, not you work for the journal. It has to help you, be useful to you, give value to you. If you start with a journal and you feel like it is adding and helping you, you will continue to do that. Just like I want to say it was creative creative notion. I was impressed with what you say. I have a small notebook to write down notes when meeting with a potential customer. I also use my planner to help me with projects that I'm part of. Everything in one place is working for me. That works for her. That is a very smart way of using your journal. It is working for you. You keep everything in one place and you have it logged out very well. Let's see. Who's guilty? Robin, not fabric, but I have 2 and 3 of different patterns. What? Claudette said, I have a separate journal for my sewing and embroidery machine. I keep records of which machine takes certain needles, which machine doesn't like certain threads, maintenance, and etc. Exactly. That is something that you can do with a journal. Um, And Pretty Eyes Covington, how are you? I saw you pop in. Thank you for dropping by. Now, choosing your format. That is important. The wrong format can make a good idea fail. So we're going to compare the different types of format of a journal that's out there and available. So one very simple is a bound notebook. The best feature is simple, is portable, can be satisfying, and it is difficult to over engineer, basically difficult to just make it too fancy smancy. But you need to watch out, pages cannot be rearranged because it's bound already. It's already a journal. You can't take anything out or add unless you rip out a page. Um, it can be bulky sometimes, and sometimes the printouts can be awkward. It's best useful for writers or list makers and people who value low setup. Something that's quick, simple, and to the point. People that are going to write, people are going to list, those kinds of things. A bound notebook works well. My journal that I have up at the top of the shelving in the little basket is a bound journal. A 3-ring binder, very simple, very easy to do. The best feature is the pages move, the sections grow, the forms can be printed, pockets can hold samples. But you need to watch out, it can be bulkier, the rings can become overstuffed, and the decorating can replace using it if you want to get all fancy and dancy. This is best suited for crafters who want categories, printables, and flexibles. Another format is digital notes or documents where you can use your Word, you can use Excel, you can use other type of digital journals that are available. The best feature for that is that it can be searchable because if it's on a computer, you can search it, you can back it up, you can edit it, you can link, you can put photos in it, you can do all of those things. You can get totally busy fixing up your digital journal that you're not even doing any crafting anymore. So watch out. It can feel less personal. Files can become scattered if you don't keep up with it, and screens may become inconvenient at the machine. And as I mentioned, you can get so busy adding, because I know me, I love to work on a computer. And when I have something and I realize I can put this in there and do this and all that kind of stuff, I go crazy. So that would not be a good fit for me, I don't think. Best fit is for searchers, typists, tablet users, and photo heavy documents. If you love taking photos and stuff, it is an excellent way to keep up with your photos. Another one is our spreadsheets, as I mentioned, Excel, um, our database, which they do have a lot of that. It's excellent for inventory, cost, project status, measurements, and filtering. You can just come up with all kinds of stuff. But watch out, it's not inviting for reflection or visual inspiration. You're not going to get any pretty pictures and all of that inspiration out of it. And the setup can be technical if you're not if you're not tech savvy. It can be difficult to maintain. It is best suited for data minded crafters, sellers, and large collections. So if you are not into computers, then spreadsheets and database would not work well for you. Photo journals. The best feature is fast and visual. Excellent for progress, setting screens, labels, and finished work. You take pictures of everything. That's another thing that I did when I first started embroidering. I guess I was so gung-ho and into it. I took a picture of everything I made. Everything I made, I took a picture. I shared it with my friends and family. Look at this. See how cute this is, how cute that. I mean, I was taking pictures. I have pictures of all the stuff I made back in the day. Every mask I made, I took a picture. I was impressed with how cute stuff was turning out. So I was taking pictures of everything. And at some point, that wore off as well. I got busy. That's what happened. You didn't have time to take the picture. You was too busy doing the work and getting it out. Got busy. So a lot of the picture taking didn't happen anymore. But that is, watch our photos without captions become hard to interpret. Retrieval depends on albums and naming. So if you're going to do a photo journal, you do need to give caption, you need to name it so it can be organized so you can find it again. And it's best suited for people that love to take pictures, obviously, that rather take a picture than write a page. So um, that's who that person is. And of course, there are hybrid systems, which gives you some of all of it, one or two, whether it's paper and digital, whether it is spreadsheet and uh, photo journal, those kinds of things. So think about what kind of journal would be best for you. Notebook, binder, digital, spreadsheet, photo, or a hybrid? Which one do you think that you are? Robin said, take pictures of everything you make. That's good. Hi, Joyce. How are you? Take pictures of everything you make. I need to get back into that. And I said I was. I just haven't done it yet. Okay. This is what I did. Getting ready for tonight, I got in touch with my friend Fred. And I said, Fred, create me a crafting journal for my embroidery. I listed everything I do. Embroidery, rhinestone, sublimation, DTF, quilting. I just listed a whole list of things. And he created it for me. I'm very impressed. And I put it in a notebook. And this is what I told him to do me a cartoon cover sheet. Hopefully you can see it. Shirley's Threadwork, all craft journal. Living the life and following the dream. Machine embroidery, sewing, quilting, sublimation, rhinestones, and DTF. This is what he did. I think it's 27 pages. 27 pages. And 5 sections for the binder. Now, mind you, this came from AI based upon what I told him I was interested in. Section number 1, idea and inspiration. Section number 2, active projects. The idea and inspiration, I'm supposed to put photos, sketches, color combinations, and possibilities. Active project, plans, working notes, and the exact next step. Project section number 3, project records, completed, paused, and repeatable project information. Section number 4, references, settings, sources, tested combination, and lessons learned. And section number 5, future / wish list, projects and purchases that are not priorities today. And this is my 27 page, and I can't show it all to you because the lighting is not good to show you all the pages that was created. But I tell you, it's a lot of information. But the good thing about it is you don't have to fill every page. I did this with IA. It's on my computer. I can use it if I want to or not. I can change it up if I want to, because matter of fact, even with me giving him prompts as to what it is I want, I had to go back several times and make this larger, not enough space for writing, not enough spaces for photos, not enough spaces for swatches. He even put a place in there to put fabric swatches and stuff in there. It is very, very thorough. Now, the question is for me, am I going to use it? I don't know. I really don't know. I may. I may start. I don't know. Would you use one? Would you go out and buy a journal? Has anybody been thinking about maybe this is something they want to get into? Has your thoughts about journals changed one way or the other? Whether or not you're more interested in doing journaling or less interested in doing your craft journaling? What are you thinking about right now? Has anything changed? What's going on in your mind? Um, are you ready? Maybe or not convinced yet? Put it in the chat if you don't mind. Are you interested in craft journaling? Not for you? Still on the fence? Or yes, I'm ready to hop into that. I think it's a good idea. And let me know what you think. And then we will talk about the second half, about how to set a journal up that survives real life. And how does this look in a real crafting life? And then we're going to have a little quick quiz. Cindy, 100% I am interested in. Yes, because you journal anyway, so I know that you're 100%. And it must be working for you because you like to keep up with your project. Robin, you say you're still on the fence, not sure if journaling is something that you're interested in. And Joanne Jordan, interested in journaling. Okay, okay, okay. That's good to know. And so while you're interested in it, think about the type and format. Claudette, absolutely yes. It keeps me from going crazy. That's good to know. I don't I'm interested. I am interested. Like I said, I've dabbled in journaling off and on, and I do somewhat of the journaling now. I just don't have everything in one place. And for me, my thought process is whether or not I should be putting this all in one place. And Jenny Owens, you say you have my Pretty Perfect Planner by Alexis from So Sweet Academy. I'm very familiar with her and what she sells, so that's a yes for me. I know she has a really nice journal. I don't own it. I've heard her talk about it. That is something, if anybody's interested in it. And she says, Alexis, gosh, what's Alexis' last name? Keep forgetting it. But anyway, she is So Sweet Academy. She comes on, I want to say 5 o'clock on Sunday. If I'm wrong, let me know. But I think she comes on at 5 o'clock on Sunday, So Sweet Academy. And she's also uh, a brother machine representative as well. She works for Brother, and she has courses too, if I'm not mistaken. Galloway, thank you, Alexis Galloway, and So Sweet Academy. If anybody's interested in her, My Pretty Perfect Planner, and her motto is, what is it? Doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be pretty. I think that's her her motto for her show that she does. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it does have to be pretty. So check her out. So, how do we set up a journal that survives life? We're going to set one up, but in words, not as, we're not going to actually do one. We're just going to talk about it, okay? The first step is to decide its main job. If we're going to get a journal at all, we need to decide what is the job of the journal. So, complete this sentence. Same sentence we talked about before. The journal will help me do what? Keep the answer specific. Example of an answer would be finish more projects, or remember settings, or control craft spending, or plan quilts, document embroidery results, or preserve finished work. If you give it 6 equal jobs on day one, then you may not get anything done at all. So you need to have a specific job that you really want it to do in the beginning and then expand. That's the recommendation. Then you don't feel overwhelmed that you have to fill out all 27 pages that Fred gave me. I looked at this briefly. I have not, as he was designing it, I was looking at it and looking at the usefulness of it, if it really would be useful. And It is. It really is. But the whole trick is do not try to do everything on every page every time you put something in the journal. Use it to where it's going to be beneficial to you. So, number two, once you have picked, and let me Sherry has her hard copy and a digital. Yes, I forgot she had a digital. You're right. She does have a digital, pretty perfect planner. Now, the interesting thing that I'm going to ask you, Jenny and Sherry, since you do have the pretty perfect planner by Alexis Galloway, are you using it? And if you are using it, is it helping you? You don't mind? Put your answer in the chat. You don't mind. Don't want to put you on the spot. You don't want to answer, you don't have to. But this is the time to think about it. Since we are talking about craft and journal and everything that we talk about, we're helping all of our fellow people that are here with us to see if if um if that is going to, if this is going to work for you. And somebody said try to sign in, but was not successful. I think I am now. Well, you are in our maybe you're the one that I got the message coming from Facebook, but you're on YouTube, so you couldn't get in on Facebook, I think is what you're telling me. And that might be a situation, don't know. But you are on here on Shirley's Threadwork, and this is Shirley's Wind Down Tuesday, if this is where you were trying to come. So let me know. Let me know. And Sherry said you started using it and you have referred back to it, but you haven't been diligent. Yeah, that happens. Unfortunately, it happens. But that's okay. I know you have a little funny face on here, but don't feel discouraged about it because that's okay. You use it for what you need it for. If you are putting down just minute information that is beneficial to you, then you're getting something out of it. That's important. Just like my needle journal, I use that more than anything, honestly, because I do keep up with the needles that I put into my machine. I haven't started doing anything specifically with my stabilizers and my projects and things like that, which is something that I'm interested in beginning to look into and follow through with that, because that I think is important. As far as my Etsy shop, I do keep up with what I make and what materials and threads and designs and so forth and so on that I do with that. So that's a separate entity. I didn't consider that as journaling. That's part of business, which journaling is as well. And is right with Facebook. I'm new at this and I know nothing about Facebook. Don't worry about it. You're in here with us now on YouTube, and I thank you for the effort. Do appreciate it and glad you're here. Jenny, I have started but haven't touched it in a while. I've been printing my project instruction and making notation on it. Great, 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 great. And then you put it back in your book, I guess. I guess. Okay. The second step, the first one is decide your main job. The second step is pick a home and a capture method. Choose where the journal lives and what you will use when you cannot reach it. Maybe the binder stays beside your cutting table. A quick note goes into your phone until you can get to your journal, and label that like craft inbox or something where your messages are, where your notes are in your phone. And once or twice a week, transfer all that information into your journal, something like that, so you can keep it. One inbox prevents you from getting a bunch of scrap papers, because I tell you, when we start jotting things down on scrap paper, if you're like me, the scrap paper ends up either getting lost somewhere or getting tossed somewhere. So I think that's a good idea. So pick a home and capture a method. Where are you going to keep your journal? If you're going to utilize it, pull it out from wherever you have it currently now and put it in your face, wherever that's going to be. Cutting table, sewing table, desktop where your computer is, wherever you know you're going to go to and you can see it and it's there, that will jog your memory to use it. And the next thing is if you do jot it down on a piece of paper or you put it in your phone or what have you, preferably the phone, because usually we keep that pretty close by. And it's simple. We're texting. I'm sure people text all the time, so it's easy to just text it in there in a particular spot, your crafting inbox, then make sure you transfer that over to your journal so it doesn't so everything stays in place. Because I know if I'm busy doing something and I want to record something, I want to remember what needle I use, I want to remember whatever situation or idea pops up or whatever. I'm not going to say that I'm going to run back to my computer desk or my cutting table or wherever I might be and make sure I jot it down. So it's going to be difficult for me to make that promise. But if I do have it out and visible, because when I was using my journal, the bound one, I had it out and visible, and it prompted me to write in it. The only problem, it wasn't in the area it should have been because I didn't have it in my crafting room. I had it in my living room. Don't ask me why. When I was sitting around doing nothing, then that's when I felt like it was time to journal, but that wasn't right. And Cindy is talking to um, Perry Water. Facebook is easier and welcome. It is easier, not Facebook, I'm sorry. YouTube is easier to get onto. So hopefully you figure that out and you will return and come back and see us every Tuesday night. We will be here. Number 3, create only 5 starter sections, which Red gave me 5. Don't have too many. And these are his ideas. Possibilities you want, your ideas, which are possibilities you do not want to lose. Your creativity, a project you want to do. Like in my head right now, on my machine behind me, I am working on quilting my fabric for my Bella coat that my group were making. And it's a quilted coat, so all of the fabric has to be quilted. So I'm working on that. And in my head, I already have another project that I want to do, probably in between working on my coat because we still have a while before the coat has to be finished. And I'm pretty sure I may get done with the coat a little early because once I get it all quilted, and that's the last piece I have to quilt, I should be able to finish that tomorrow, hopefully. If not, definitely by the weekend. Definitely. Hopefully by tomorrow, but don't know. Anyway, so in between, I want to make the trend that's out now, and that's a bandana bag tote rather. Everywhere you see on YouTube now, everybody's doing these bandana totes. They're doing the mini totes. They're doing all kinds of cutesy little totes, and I got me some bandanas. So that's my goal. I'm gonna, break from the coat and do a bandana. So that's my idea. Now, I could put that in my I could put that in my journal if I want to. That's the next project. The second thing, these 5 started. The second thing is active projects, which I went over. Only projects currently in motion, which for me would be my Bella coat. That's the only thing I'm working on right now. Don't know what I'm going to be working on by the end of the week, But right now, that's the only thing I'm working on. Number 3, project records, what you complete, what you pause, so forth and so on. And then your references. You got to make sure that you put down settings and measurements and all that kind of stuff so you can find that stuff. Perfect example. Year or two ago, at least a year, at least 2 years ago, pretty much, I think, the group made denim totes from um, old jeans. We went to Goodwill somewhere, got old jeans. At least that's what I did. I think most people did that. We gathered old jeans out of Goodwill and stuff and cut them up and stuff, and we made um, cute little tote bags out of jean fabric, and well, just transformed the jeans into a tote. Basically, is what we did. But anyway, the tutorial that I watched did not speak. There was no sound other than nice, quiet, soothing music. I don't even remember the name of the channel. I know it when I see it, but I could not tell you right now what that name is because I forgot. And the reason I'm bringing it up, I ain't write none of that down. None of it. And the lady would put the measurements up and all of that, and so therefore you watch it, you knew how to cut it. When she was cutting something, she would do the scissors and she would point at stuff. You never saw the person. Everything was just her hand and writing on the screen with measurements. So you had to watch her and pay attention. She did show you stitching stuff, putting stuff together and everything. And several of us, at least two of us, I know, uh, did a tutorial, watched a tutorial like that to do the denim totes and stuff. But now I could not repeat that tote because I did not write anything down, not even the channel that I watched. So that's kind of what that is saying as far as your references, your information. Put that stuff down. If you watch a YouTube channel or you watch somebody do a tutorial that is showing you how to do a project that you want to make, or you going to make, or you're making, put all that stuff down. Don't trust the noggin up here because you can remember to go back and go back and go back while you're working on it. But you wait a year later, I promise you, you're going to forget what channel was that I saw this tutorial to learn how to do X, Y, Z, blah, 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 blah. And if you did not save it in your history, your wish list, or whatever on your computer, heaven help you, you may never find it again. And that's information lost. So that's the references, stuff like that. Keep up with all of that. And then the last thing, which is in my little book that Fred made for me, is your wish list of what you want to do later. Thinking down the line, what purchases and projects and stuff that you want to do that are not priorities. And I have several things that I'm interested in doing that are not priorities, but you know, I don't know if I even want to put that down right now because they're probably way down the line. Christmas is coming up true quicker than what we think. You know, this is what, August? What is that? September, October, November, December. August, September, October, November, December, 5 more months if you include this month. And it is Christmas. 5 months come fast. So now's the time to start thinking about what are you going to be making for Christmas? What are you going to be making for Christmas? This is what we need to be thinking about now. So that could be on your wish list and things that you're going to be making later. Because I know it never fails. And every year, our group say, we're going to start making our Christmas stuff early. We're going to start making our Christmas stuff early. And every year we end up at the last 3 months of the year rushing, making this, because we got 59 people we want to make gifts for. We got 100 people want projects from us that we're selling, all of that kind of stuff. And it just gets absolutely crazy. So think ahead. Those 5 sections are enough to begin. You may want to add inventory, your business, classes you want to take, content ideas like me, customer orders, or anything like that later on. Now, for me, I may add number 6 section to my um, binder that I have over here, my journal binder, if indeed I start doing it. And that would be my content ideas, because I've been keeping scraps. Every time I ask you guys about what do you want your next topic to be, I write it down so I can have it, but I haven't been putting it in a specific spot. So I used to have a erasable board in my other apartment, and I put up my contents for the month. I put up all of my tutorials I was going to do for the month. All of that stuff would be listed, and I would look up at it, and I knew what my job was for the day. Okay, this is coming up. You need to get this ready. Oh, this is coming up. You need to get this ready. I got away from that when I came here and started back to working. So now I need to get back into that so I can get myself a lot more organized. And let's see. Hey, Sean, how you doing? Thank you for stopping by. Do appreciate that. Joanne, you said when I jot things down on my phone in my notes, I later go back and send it to myself in an email and then place it in my crafting folder. Great idea. You are giving us some really good tips here. Thank you so much, Joanne. Step number 4, use one repeatable project page. A repeatable project page reduces decision fatigue. Your page can be plain and still be powerful. At the top, put the project name, date, purpose, recipient, and deadline. Then materials and sources. Then settings or construction notes. Then a small box for problems and fixings at the bottom, and what works and what you would change, and then one photo. So that is your repeatable project. So you can repeat this project over and over and over again. So you got the whole setup of this project. A perfect example, if you're going, well, when I was making masks, I knew exactly what the steps were. Had it embedded in my head. I knew exactly what the steps were, to the point that since I was so busy at that time and only had in the beginning a single needle machine, my SE 1900, and it wouldn't have mattered because I had to sew and embroider at the same time, so I still needed 2 machines. Or anyway, I got my son and his friend to help me because I ended up with an assembly line. But I knew the steps so well, I was able to direct them as to the what to do, how to cut it out and lay it out and everything. So all I was doing actually was doing the construction. I would do the embroidery and then I would do the construction. But all of the other tedious stuff like the layout, the cut out, the organizing and stuff like that, I was able to delegate that to a non-crafting person to help me out. Because I mean, I had orders sometimes that was so big, um, one person couldn't do it in a timely manner without some help. Back during the pandemic, it got kind of crazy at one time, as we all are aware of. Step number 5, build a 2-minute closing habit. At the end of a crafting session, ask yourself 3 questions. Where did I stop? What is the next physical action? And is there anything I wish I remembered? And write only those answers. 2 minutes is more than what you need to take care of that. Perfect example on the back, on my machine back here, I know exactly where I stopped, what the next step is, and how much more I'm going to have to do before I get done, because my goal is to get done with that. This is a tedious job doing the basically edge to edge quilting on my machine for that's a yard of no, yeah, that's a yard of fabric that's on it. Uh, the kind of brown fabric that's sitting on the table on the other side of the table over there is 2 yards of fabric, I believe it is, that I also quilted on this machine, and that was a tedious job. So I'm done with that, I'll get done with that. Then I will be able to start laying out my pattern and cutting out and blah 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 and move forward with sewing. So I have a process. I have it in my head what I need to do step by step. I don't have anything written down, but maybe it would be useful to write those things down, especially if I intend to do the coat again at some point. And am I learning lessons of what to do? Um, yes, I learned lessons from what I did with the first uh, quilting that I did that I'm doing different with this quilting versus the first coat that I did because I quilted it completely on sewing machine. So I'm learning different steps and different things like that. And it's really good to be able to keep track of all that kind of stuff. So that's where you do your closing. What are my next steps? What I know exactly what I need to do when I turn that machine on. I know exactly where I am. It just so happens I'm focused on it, so it's still in my brain. But I do know I can get discombobulated and I can forget. But I like to finish stuff, so for me, it doesn't leave. I eat and sleep it. I'm not going to get this out of my head until I get done with, because I want to get done with it. It ain't fun. I put it that way. That's not a lot. That's not fun. That's a lot of work. Hi, Eve from the Baby's Booty. Thank you so much for stopping by. I do appreciate it. Hadn't seen you in a minute, girl. How you doing? How you doing? Okay. Step number 6. Review on a realistic rhythm. Do not force a daily review if you are only crafted twice a week. Only do what you need to do when you need to do it, basically. Don't force yourself to write stuff in your journal every day if you don't need to. Don't force yourself to write information in your journal that is not pertinent to what you need to know. You don't want to make this a job. You want it to make it a tool. Use it for a tool. Number 7, give yourself permission, basically what we just said, to be inconsistent. Blank pages are not evidence against you. A missing month does not require an apology. Open to the next page and continue. We do not need to backfill anything or create any history or do anything before we can move forward. Start where you are. Those of you that haven't touched your pretty perfect planner in however long it's been, that is perfectly fine. Whenever you pull it out and start working on it, that's where you need to be. You don't need to go back and try to fix anything or whatever. You move forward, and you move forward with intention, with what is beneficial and that's working for you. Hi, Margot. How are you? I just saw that you had popped in as well. Thank you for stopping by. Um, so we are getting to the quiz. Let's get to the quiz. Let's get to the quiz part. Okay. Quiz. What kind of crafting journal are you? It is quiz time. As you know, we do the A, B, C, or D. There are no bad results, as you know, and keep up with your answers. How many A's, how many B's, how many C's, how many D's, so forth and so on. So we're going to start with that. And everybody get ready. Hey, Leslie, thank you for stopping in as well. Getting all these people coming in. You're coming in just in time enough for the quiz. We're talking about what kind of crafting journalist are you? We've been talking about crafting journals. Some of you may have been listening behind the scene. I don't know. But now that you're in here, get your pen and paper out. Right, keep up with how many A's, how many B's, C's, and D's. And then we'll talk about we'll evaluate your score and see what kind of crafting journaler are you. And the first question is, when a project goes well, what are you most likely wanting to do later? When a project goes well, what are you most likely to want to do later? Take make a story and a photograph. That's A. The story and a photograph of the project. Is that what you want to put down? Record. This is all your journaling that you're doing. The story and a photograph. That's A. B. The exact settings and materials that you use for this project that went well. That's B. The exact settings of your machine and the materials that you use. That would include your needles, your threads, your stabilizer, all of that. C. The cost, the time, and the results. The cost, time, and result. That's C. And D. Just jot down one quick clue so I can repeat it. You just want to jot down a quick clue about the project that went well so you can repeat it. So that's question number 1. When a project goes well, what are you most likely to want later? A, the story and a photograph. Writing down the whole story of the project, you take a picture of it, everything looks cute. Or the exact settings of material. Know what that means. That's B. C, the cost, time, and result. And D, we're just going to put a quick note down so you can repeat the project because you really liked how it turned out. That's question number 1. Okay? Okay, I see Jenny has put her answer in here. I don't see no more answers. Come on, come on. But we can move on to question number 2. Don't want to go too fast so everybody can keep up. Okay, are we ready for question number 2? Question number 2. What makes you abandon a planner? Those of you that have already used a crafting journal or planner, what makes you abandon it? What makes you abandon a planner? A, it feels impersonal. That's A. B, it becomes disorganized. C, it does not help me make decisions. It's not doing what I got it for. Or D, it asks me to write too much. Too much writing. I don't have time for all that. So I know people are still answering A. I mean, number 1. That's okay. So I'm going to repeat B, question number 2. Question number 2, what makes you abandon a planner? If you've already done one, or if you're thinking about doing one, or you imagine what it would be like to do one, so you can all participate. What would make you abandon a planner? Number 1, it may feel too impersonal. It doesn't have anything to do with me. It's just a bunch of questions and stuff. B, it becomes disorganized. There's stuff all over the place. You just, stuff. C, it doesn't help me make a decision. I'm just putting stuff in there, but I still can't decide what the project is, what the measurements are, what I need to do moving forward. It just is not helping me. Or D, it asks me to write too much stuff. And I have experienced that. The bound planner that I do have that I started, and similar to the one that was created by AI that I just printed out, it does have a lot of stuff in there to write on or think about. But keep in mind, as I mentioned, you don't have to fill out every page, every section, everything that's on there. It gives you the opportunity to um, record what you feel is necessary. The space is there to do it, but it doesn't mean you have to. Keep that in mind. The space is available in these journals to record whatever information that the creator may think you want or need, but the choice is yours to choose how much of that information do you need to keep or record. So always keep that in mind. So I see people are answering number 2. What makes you abandon the planner? A, it feels impersonal. B, it becomes disorganized. C, it does not help me make decisions. And D, it asks me to write too much. Okay, let's move on to question number 3. Which page sounds most appealing? Which page sounds most appealing? Now, these will be your sections or pages, as they said. A, creative memories and inspiration. Are you, does creative memories and inspiration or inspiring things, what gets your juices flowing in the journal? You're just thinking about all the stuff that you want to do and how creative you want to be, and you're all inspired, all of that. B, divided section with project records. You're getting a little bit more organized on that. You got your divided sections, you got your project records. Is that most appealing? C, a searchable tracker with filters. That would be your digital stuff. Which sounds most appealing? A searchable tractor with filters. Filters. Or D, one index card or 5-line note per project. And I did not mention, no, index cards work also as a journal. But what I have yet to be able to find, it used to be very prominent, and I have not found the little box that you put your index cards in. I have not seen one of those, and I don't know, I can't find them in Walmart. I went to the dollar store, they didn't have them there. I've looked at Michael's. I don't know where you find the little boxes that you put index cards in, and they even used to have the ABC dividers and all that stuff. Do they even make that? They make plenty of index cards, but the little boxes that you put them in, I don't know where they are. Haven't found one yet. But anyway, you can use index cards, believe it or not, as your journal. You can do that. So number 3, I repeat, number 3. Which page sounds most appealing? A, creative memories and inspiration. B, divided section with project records. C, a searchable tractor with filters. Or D, one index card or 5-line note per project. Keep it simple. Use a recipe card. Can't find that, Marina. I Office supply store. Okay, hey Kingsbury Craft, how you doing? Thank you for stopping by. I hadn't gone to an office supply store. That's probably where you can find it. You're right. I hadn't seen a recipe card holder either, Marina. I just haven't seen one. It's crazy. Anyway, I need to find one because I bought some index cards to use for something else and I couldn't find a box to put it in. Anyway, I digress. Number 3, I said again, which page sounds appealing? Creative memories, inspiration, divided section of project and records, searchable tractor with filters, or index card. So you missed questions 1 and 2. Where you been, girl? I'll come back to it, Marina. Don't worry about it. I'll come back to it before we score. So remind me. Remind me. Okay, number 4. You are troubleshooting puckering. What do you do naturally? Number 4, question. You are troubleshooting puckering. You're having a puckering issue. What do you do naturally? A, photograph it and describe how the project is going. B, write every setting and test change. So you're putting down the settings that you put in and you're testing to see if the settings that you change helps or whatever else you may do. May not be settings, maybe stabilize, maybe something else, but you write down what you did. Number C, compare results across several projects. Did you have puckering in this other project and you use the same material, use the same whatever, whatever? What happened? What's the comparison? And D, you write down the final fix only. You only write down what you did to fix the problem. So repeat that again. Question number 4. You are troubleshooting your puckering issue that you're having with this project. So what are you going to do naturally? What do you naturally do? You photograph it and describe how the project is going. B, you write every setting and test change because you want to just keep up with what you did and all of that. C, you compare the results across several different projects, why this one messed up and the rest of them didn't. Or D, you write down what you did to fix it and you move on. Okay. 5, question number 5. What would make you keep using a journal? Okay. What would make you keep using a journal? A, it feels personal and enjoyable. You like journaling. B, everything has a clear place. You know where you put all your info. C, it gives me useful patterns and numbers. I can analyze what I'm writing so I understand what's going on with all of my projects and everything I do. It gives me a clear picture of what's going on. It gives me useful patterns and numbers. I know my settings, I know my measurements, I know how the project is going project by project by project. That's C. D, it takes 2 minutes or less. I put that stuff in there and move on. That would help me keep using the journal. So that's question number 5. Let me repeat. What would make you keep using a journal? A, it feels personal and enjoyable. B, everything has a clear place. C, it gives me useful patterns and numbers or information and measurements, all of that. Same thing. Technical information changes, all of that. Or D, it takes me 2 minutes or less to jot down what I want to say, and I move on. And question number 6 is our last question. Then I'll go back to 1 and 2 for you, Marina. Okay, question number 6. Choose the sentence that sounds most like you. Choose the sentence that sounds most like you. You know, I didn't even do my own. I got to go back and do my own. Question number 6. I want to remember my creative journal. That's A. Choose the sentence that sounds most like you. Number A is I want to remember my creative journal. That's why I want to use my crafting journal. B, I want a dependable craft room reference. C, I want to make smarter choices. So the more information I gather, the more better my choices can be. D, I want help without another hobby to maintain. So, question number 6, choose the sentence that sounds most like you. And A is I want to remember my creative journey, not journal, journey. I want to remember my creative journey. B, I want a dependable craft room reference. I need this reference in my craft room where I can go back and look at progress, failures, all of that. It's right there. C, I want to make smarter choices. So if I understand and remember and can locate what happened, how it happened, why it happened, what I bought, all of that stuff is right there so I can make better choices. Or D, I want help without another hobby to maintain. So I want something that's quick and simple, not time consuming, but useful. That's how I interpret that. So, which sentence works best for you? So, I am answering these questions. Okay, Marina, I'm going to give you question. This is tough for me. I'm not a journal person because I keep forgetting to write notes and things, so I don't. I know. I know that, yes, yes, I think that's a lot of us, Eve. I think that's a lot of us. Okay, let me give Marina question number 1. When a project goes well, what are you most likely to want later? A, the story and a photograph. B, the exact settings and materials. C, the cost, time, and result. Or D, just one quick clue so I can repeat it. So that's question number 1. When a project goes well, what are you most likely to want later? And question number 2, what makes you abandon a planner? A, it feels impersonal. B, it becomes disorganized. C, it does not help me make decisions. Or D, it asks me to write too much. That's questions 1 and 2. Okay, we see people are tallying up. So go ahead and tally up all your A's, all your B's, all your C's, and all your D's. And I will tell you what the results mean. Me tally mine up. Okay, everybody ready? Okay, Cindy, you're the first one. You have three A's, two D's, and one B. So your majority is A's. And therefore, A is you are the creative story keeper. Everybody that has A as their majority, you are the creative story keeper, which means your journal should include photographs, meaning, color, inspiration, and reflections. Keep the structure loose enough to feel inviting. You are a creative story keeper. Okay. Da, 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 da. Who is not? So Eve, it looks like you are not the journaling type person here. I hear you. So Robin, you have three D's. So you're D. D is you are the minimalist maker. The minimalist maker. Do not buy a 200-page planner. You ain't gonna work on it. Try a 5-line project log or index cards. A photo album, because you like to take pictures. You say you take pictures of everything you make, so that fits you. With short captions or voice notes. Your journal succeeds by staying almost invisible. So that's D. So Marina, you have four B's, so you are a B person. You are the practical archivist. Practical archivist. A binder or disc bound book, binder like what I showed you, or a well divided digital notebook may suit you. Reusable project pages and reference sections will be satisfying for you because you are a practical archive. Anybody else? We got A. No, did we get an A? Did we get an A? Nobody's an A. Did we get a C? Anybody a C? I'm a C. I have three C's. The C is you are the craft analyst. Really? A spreadsheet, searchable database, or structured digital system can help you compare cost, time, inventory, results, and repeat projects. Add one small place for photographs and feelings so the numbers do not tell the whole story. You are the craft analyst. Yeah, that's probably right. Yeah. Not so much a spreadsheet, but definitely a searchable database does sound um, something that I would like to use because I do like to be able to look things up and all that kind of stuff more so than flipping through pages back and forth. If I could go on the computer and pull it up and manipulate it and look at analysis and charts and graphs and stuff like that, which I ain't gonna do. I'm not gonna do it. I would like to do that, but I know I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do that. So, anybody else want to say what they are? So I will repeat. A. Nobody's. I don't have an A. Jenny, I don't see yours. You said, how about me? Where are you? Did I miss you? Okay. Oh my goodness. Oh, it's a bunch of 'em I missed. I'm missing. No, wait. Where are you, Jenny? You, Jenny, I don't have your score. I don't think you put what your tally is because I don't see it. I see Marina, I see Robin, I see Cindy. I don't see you, Jenny. I see you say 6 is C, but I don't see what your score is because I'm not adding anybody else's. I'm not adding your score. You got to tell me what it is. So um, there's too many to try to add up everybody's score. So how many A's, how many B's, how many D's did you get? How many C's? Because I don't know what your score is. So anyway, I'm gonna read it over so you can you'll she's under Robin. Where is Robin? Why am I not seeing it? Under Robin is Marina on my end. I don't see I don't see her tally. I see her under Robin, but it's not her tally. If you guys understand what I'm saying. I don't see her total for all of hers. It's just not showing up it's not showing up on my end, so I don't see it. I'm sorry. But just tell me what it is. Just put it in there, Jenny, and tell me what it is. So I'm there. Okay, here we are. You have two A's, one B, two D's, and one C. Okay. So you have two A's and two D's, which is basically a hybrid. So I was just about to read what A is. So you are A and a D. A means you are the creative story keeper. That's Cindy. Cindy, you're the creative story keeper. Your journal should include photographs, meaning, color, inspiration, and reflection. Keep the structure loose enough to feel inviting. D is you are the minimalist maker. Do not buy a 200 page. You and Robin are the same on that part. Page planner, try a 5-line project log, index card, or photo album with short caption or voice notes. B is the practical archivist. And I forgot who's a B. I believe that is Marina, I believe. Anyway, a binder or well-divided digital notebook may suit you. And C, which is what I am, is a craft analyst, a spreadsheet, searchable database, or structured digital system is what I am. So that is where we are on that. So you guys know what kind of crafting person you crafting person crafting journalist that you would be if you decided to get a journal. So hopefully this has been helpful as far as thinking about it, because I do know that some of you, when I asked the question when we first came on, quite a few of you said that you have journals or you have done journals. I've admitted that I have done journaling as well. And I do think it has its role, its purpose, and its usefulness. I also do realize that it can get a little overwhelming. And can become a chore more so than a tool if we get too deeply involved. But also take in account the people that did share with us that say that they use theirs regularly and that it has been extremely helpful to them keeping up with information. Now, for me, I know when um, my issue personally, I do obviously do some journaling. I just never really looked at it that way, and I have my stuff scattered in different places because I keep up with my needles. I keep up with my information for my um, Etsy shop. I keep up with my information for my design, but they're not all in the same place. I have yet to keep up with information for my projects. I used to take pictures of all my projects, and I stopped doing that routinely. I still have tons of pictures of my projects, but I don't have every project that I've done. Need to get back to that. So for me, I need to think about it. I'm not going to make a commitment tonight about whether or not I am going to use my journal that was created by Fred, my AI person, but I am going to look at it, and I'm going to make a decision whether or not it's something that I think I want to get involved in to see, is this going to be useful. So instead of taking on another project and this becoming another UFO, think about whether or not you think this journaling is going to be helpful for you. And if it is, based upon all the information we discussed tonight, then give it a try, but start off slow. Don't try to do everything. Get something inexpensive, like a binder and some sheets. Those of you that don't mind doing AI on your computer, have your AI create a simple one for you. Now, I didn't ask him for a simple one. I told him all the stuff I wanted in mine, and he gave me everything I asked because I included DTF and rhinestone and sublimation and sewing and embroidery. I wanted the whole picture in there because I do some of all of that. And so all of that is combined. That's why mine ended up being 27 pages. But if I had just said embroidery projects, I probably would have got 5, 6 pages or something. So look at it that way. Start off with small bites and go from there. Anybody have anything burning on your mind, suggestion for another topic to come up that you're interested in? And I don't know why I keep forgetting to do this because I know this is all part of one of the reasons why I do this. Can you guys please be sure to give me a thumbs up? I've gotten so bad, I have to start saying this in the beginning, in the middle, and the end. Thumbs up, subscribe, hit the notification bell. I do appreciate your support, but the support with the thumbs up, the notification bell, and subscribing is very important, as you all know. So I do appreciate that. Marina, topic suggestion. Can you maybe do a deep dive into places where we may purchase? I got that. I got that. That's on my list. You gave it to me last week, and I wrote it down, so I did not forget you, Marina. So I do have that as a suggestion. Like I said, I do write them down, and I'm going through my list. So it's a couple of more that have been suggested as well. So don't think that I have forgotten about any of them that has been given to me. We're doing week by week by week. So anybody else have a suggestion? Anybody else? Somebody even asked a question about quilting classes. I believe that was Miss Joy. I don't know if she's on tonight or not. I didn't see her. She might be in the background somewhere. I'm going to look into that. And any anybody else? Anybody? If not, you can always put it in the comment on my page, whatever you're interested in, and I will see what information I can find and we'll go from there. Thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. I appreciate it. Thank you to all the people new that came on that I had not met before. And thank you to Eve and thank you to Sean. I do appreciate it. I always welcome other content creators. We're all one big happy family, and I do appreciate you guys supporting me as well as me supporting you. So thank you so much for that. I always tell people, Eve, if you're still on here, you are my mentor. You're the person that got me started with this stuff. So I always give you your props on that. And anybody that's brand new, you can find any of her old videos on her embroidery and stuff. Look that up. And if you're interested in rhinestone, she's the rhinestone queen. Look her up on that as well. And Sean, with all of her sewing and purses and quilts and all of that quilting and stuff that she does with her Fun Day Sunday, look her up. Okay, I'm gonna say good night. And Eve, you're on Sunday night as well. Sunday night, Sean is Sunday night, and Alexis Galloway is on Sunday. So a bunch of Sunday people. Okay. I'm going to say good night to everybody. I got to go to work in the morning. See you guys later. I'm going to the original Sewing and Quilting Expo on Thursday and Friday of this week. So next week I should be able to tell you a little bit about what I saw and hopefully be able to get some pictures and all that kind of stuff that I will share with you guys um, next week. That being said, I'm going to say good night and you guys have a wonderfully blessed rest of your week. And I will see you later. And I'll see the rest of you guys with the social society crew tomorrow night. Good night, everybody.